Hello everyone, welcome to the Oasis Healing Temple. So your guides have been trying to deliver this message to you. They've been sending you signs, trying to get your attention. So if you have been coming across signs and you're not sure what that means, what your guides are telling you, you are at the right reading. So for pile number 1, we have the Creator card with the Herkimer Diamond. For pile number 2, we have the Medallion with the DT Quartz. For pile number 3, we have the Orphan, and that is with the Danburite crystal. It's beautiful. Alright, so these are the 3 pile choices for you to choose from today. Use your intuition to guide you into which pile has the messages meant for you. These are general readings. Please take what resonates for you and lovingly leave the rest. The timestamps are going to be listed in the description box below, and I'll see you all at your readings. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. So your spirit guides have been trying to get your attention. They've been trying to send a message to you. We're going to take a look and see what that is exactly. We will be pulling a few oracle cards and a couple tarot cards to clarify the messages. So pile number 1, please. What do pile number 1 spirit guides want them to know? What have you been trying to tell them? Roosters are sounding off, which is crazy because it's such a overcast kind of day. I had to turn the lights on in the studio. Pile number 1. What do you want, pile number 1? What is their message? Let's get a couple tea leaves. I don't know who he's alarming to. Ooh, you got quite a bit of tea leaves. Let's get one of these, and then we'll get a couple tarot. Pile number 1, thank you. Alright, here's your oracle. Let's get a couple of... Whoa, oh my goodness. Alright, we'll take those. Alright, you guys. So y'all were drawn to the Creator card. And you have the Herkimer Diamond. And the Herkimer Diamond is such a spiritual crystal. It symbolizes spiritual awakening, purity, clarity. And you have the Creator card. And we have this hand that's painting an image here. And to me, I kind of saw like the mind here. So something about clarity of mind, clearing your mind, connecting to your soul chakra, which is just above the crown chakra, your soul star. And this is your connection to cosmic consciousness, spiritual enlightenment. So there may be an aspect of clearing your mind, focusing on something, having more clarity, more clear vision, clear focus. All right, let's see what your other cards want to reveal. Something about, clearing your mind, focusing your mind on something that you want to create. That should be good. All right, let's look at a few of the oracle cards. We have face what you've avoided. Avoidance is a chain in disguise. What you're not willing to face still controls you. We have learn from pain. Pain is a catalyst for change. Allow it to lead you to deeper wisdom and growth. We have 3 of these. Release inner criticism. Silence the inner critic. Speak to yourself with kindness and watch your confidence soar. Okay, so what I'm what I'm getting from these messages, and we have I am not enough. What is this? Failure enough? Something winner. Loser. I'm not sure what this word is. It's F-A, valuer? I think they may have spelled it wrong on this card. Oh my goodness. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you are given the opportunity to create your reality through your thoughts. We have this, the hand holding the paintbrush, right? You are in control. You have the power to create your reality. And so we have this, there's some shadow work that needs to be done, something that's within the mind here that needs to be released. So there may be your inner voice, the way that you communicate to yourself, the way that you judge yourself, how you see yourself, are the words that you use to teach yourself, is it harsh? Is it judgmental? Is it critical, or does it come from a loving place? Do you allow yourself forgiveness? Do you allow yourself healing? Do you allow yourself to be able to make a mistake, or to not be perfect? How do you speak to yourself? And there's something that has to do with pain. And this inner voice that speaks to you. Sometimes, it can come from somebody in the past. It can be an old relationship. It could be a parental figure. It can be a teacher, even a coach, somebody who meant something to you, who meant something to your heart, somebody you looked up to. Maybe you looked for their validation and their approval. And sometimes if you didn't meet a certain level of standard of what they expected, they may have spoke to you harshly or made you feel like you weren't good enough. And their voice can be the voice that you hear in your mind. And what I have told some of my clients is that to change that voice and to find somebody in your life who truly loves you, supports you. They're always rallying for you. They give you the best advice. They're very supportive, very kind, very loving. And change that voice. What would they say to you? And how would they speak to you? And it's learning how to create something new within your mind and to take something that was old, something that was painful, and to grow from that experience. So if this happens to be, somebody who's no longer in your life and they hurt you, they cause a lot of pain, a lot of, betrayal, broken heart, whatever the feeling is, that is the energy that is controlling you here. And we have this individual who's peeking under the covers. And this is about going within and facing those fears and allowing yourself to change the way that you see things, change the way that you speak to yourself, allow yourself to grow from those experiences, allow yourself to forgive yourself, to forgive others, because you were learning something from that experience. And then change the way you speak to yourself. And for, sometimes we are our worst critics. We're so hard on ourselves, and things that we can forgive other people for, we seem to have the hardest time allowing ourselves that same type of grace. We are very hard on ourselves, and because we expect more. And I don't know why, because sometimes we have in our mind the way things should be, or sometimes we knew our instinct, our gut, our heart was telling us, and we just chose to believe in this other person, or we believed, we had higher hopes, or we thought maybe this time it'd be different. Whatever the case may be, we end up ignoring red flags, or you know what I'm saying? And we should be allowed to make those mistakes and understand, okay, well, next time going forward, I will better listen to my intuition. I'll listen to my gut instincts, and I won't make that mistake again. I'm learning too, And I'm allowed to make those mistakes. It's having that healthy relationship with yourself, and allowing yourself to go through experiences. And because you had to go through those experiences, you got a lot of wisdom from it. It taught you a lot about life and about yourself and about relationships with other individuals. And now it's time for you. So we have this page that's unwritten here. It's time for you to create something new in your life. By addressing something from the past and healing from the past, there's this growth, this opportunity for you to grow, for you to create something new, to shift the way that you speak and communicate to yourself. And your angels are here helping you and guiding you in this next phase of your life. And they're wanting you to speak to yourself with kindness and to have more confidence in yourself and your abilities and your in your heart and your instincts, trusting yourself more, having a healthier relationship, being like your own best friend. And you have Moonstone. Connect with lunar energy. Embrace your intuitive gifts. And this is what you're learning to do. You're learning to trust your intuition, to trust its guidance. And we have this full moon. Moonstone is such a beautiful crystal because it helps you with your emotional body. It helps you to trust and lean into your emotions, to go with the flow and not be so hard, not be so critical. It allows you to flow through life more and not be so rigid. Especially if you may have felt trapped or stuck, unable to move. Moonstone's a great crystal because it connects to the ocean, to the tides, and it allows you to just ebb and flow through life. But it also allows you to tap into that emotional body and bring healing and listen to your intuition as it's always guiding you. All right, we're going to pause on your oracle and let's look at your tarot. So we got the Page of Wands. I'm not going to read reversals for this reading. Page of Wands. Okay, that's great. So we have a new opportunity coming in, learning something new. Ooh, and it's moving fast. Okay, so something quick. It's going to require you to take action. These roosters. Now we got another rooster. I think my deck's upside down here. We have the Ace of Wands. Look at that. A place of power. Empowering yourself. Learning to empower yourself here. All right, hang on. I'm going to shoo the rooster away from the window. Okay. So your guides want you to know that there's this opportunity coming in for you to face your fears, to overcome, to stand in your power, to claim your power, your sense of authority over your mind, and not allowing your mind to control you. You are the creator. You can choose what you want to believe. You can choose what programs, what belief systems you have about yourself and about reality. Maybe in the past you may have, used other people's versions of how, what happiness looks like, what success looks like, what love should feel like. And through experience, you now know what that means for yourself without needing anybody else to guide you or show you or tell you. You have attained a certain level of wisdom and experience yourself to be able to make those choices for you, to decide what's good for you. And we have the Ace of Wands, and this is a new sense of self, a new chapter to empower yourself here. And to be determined in facing those fears, to tackle this challenge. We have the Hierophant, learning something new. And the Hierophant can also represent the traditions, things that are generational, things that have been passed down. This can also be a spiritual teacher, somebody religious in your life. You may be looking for a new guide. You may be looking for a mentor, somebody to guide you. You can also be asked to seek out a teacher, somebody who can help you. This can also be a therapist. Who can help you with this self-empowerment. Standing in your power. Facing this challenge head on. Overcoming adversity. Oh yeah. Yes, it's a pattern of the mind, you know, and it's something that is reoccurring. Like, we have this individual, you know, and they're holding their head. It causes a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of, you know, chatter in the mind, a lot of worry, a lot of stress, overthinking. Perhaps you have been having these conversations with an individual, or you just keep repeating it over and over again, and it's keeping you awake at night, or just is causing a lot of headache, a lot of stress. Wow, and we have the World coming out. Yes, it's time for you to end this cycle. Last card is the Knight of Swords. I love it. This is with the Knight of Swords, this is the time is now. The time is, you are being asked to face this fear, to conquer this fear, to release this pain, to release this memory, this programming, these voices that just keep repeating over and over again, or this cycle. If this is something that has to do with family, you know, it's something that has been, you know, passed down. It's something that you are here to create something new, to not pass this down generationally, you know, not to, it needs to end with you. That's why we have the World coming out. And the Knight of Swords, you know, this is somebody who is, you know, it's like the knight in shining armor. He's coming to save the day. He's holding that sword. He's willing to charge in there and take control to save, you know, those who need the saving. I'm here to bring change. I'm here to cut the cords to the past. I'm here to let you know that the time is now. It's okay. All signs say yes, this needs to happen. You need to let this go. You need to release this. It's time for you to be more empowered, to face your fears. You have the wisdom, you've had the experience. Now learn from this experience, take what you can from the experience, and to move forward. This is the champion, you know, coming in to save a version of yourself from the past by encouraging yourself, standing in your truth, standing in your power, overcoming these belief systems that don't quite fit in with who you are and who you've become. And that's the thing. Sometimes, like, you know, our parents can, you know, through their own experience and through their parents and what they have been taught, people develop their belief systems. That's where they come from. They come from experience, and they come from something that has been either socially accepted and taught and for us to believe, or it's something from the parents, or something from your peer groups, you know, or even an old version of yourself who's been through an experience. And we develop a belief system, you know. It becomes our truth. It becomes our way of life and how we navigate and move through situations. And then as we grow older, we end up looking back and we learn from our mistakes, or we learn that what we believed back then isn't, you know, it doesn't align with who I am today. You know, I may have saw things this way when I was younger, but as I've gotten older and have more experience, my belief systems have changed. And allow that to be your truth. Allow that to be okay. It's time for you to write a new story for yourself. And it's something that can bring you happiness. Because you are the creator. What do you want your life to be? How do you want to be living? What does your life, how does it make you feel? All those things, and everything should be accounted for. Ooh, wow, we have the goddess of creation, transformation, creativity, and wholeness. I love that this came out. So you have the creator twice here. Ooh, I gotta cover this card up. Let's use this last meter. Okay. So yes, it's time to transform your belief systems and to create a new reality for yourself. One that makes you feel complete, one that makes you feel whole, one that makes you feel loved, happy, satisfied, all the above. It's time for you to empower yourself and do what's right for you. And to be brave and to face this journey head on. And to stop avoiding, doing the work. It's time to put that effort in. Because you deserve it, pile number one. You deserve it. You are enough, and you are worthy. You are deserving. You are lovable. You are as beautiful as God created you. You are perfectly imperfect. You're growing. We have 4-leaf clover. We got some good luck coming in for you. You have the forest. Yep. Sometimes we can't see the forest through the trees, right? And this could be something that has been clouding your perceptions, your thoughts. Which is why you're being asked to work with that Herkimer diamond, so that you can elevate your consciousness, elevate the way that you see things with more clarity of thought, going within, practicing meditation. And meditation is like connecting within. It's calming the mind down, slowing the mind, so it's not in this overdrive of constantly thinking, and always hearing, this mental chatter. Meditation, it just slows the mind down. And working with crystals help ground you. They help bring your awareness. Well, I'll say specific crystals help ground you. Some of them raise your consciousness to a higher level, but which can get you very much in your mind. And I feel like you're too much in the mind, which is why you need to come ground a little bit, meditate, spend some time in nature, slow the mind down so you can go within and sort through the programmings, the belief systems. How do I really feel about this situation? What is my truth? Is this my truth, or is this what somebody told me to believe? Is this how I see myself, the truth of how I see myself, or is this just what somebody made me feel like? But that's not the truth. That's not really who I am. And why do I believe this? It's going within and understanding who you really are, and knowing that you are creating your reality through this belief about yourself and about the world around you. I'm telling you, when you change the way you see things, the way things are, they begin to change. Your reality begins to change. Believing is seeing, not the other way around. Oh, we have the goldfish. Woohoo. Wow, so you have an increase of, definitely going to have some finances. You're a shift in finance here. Wealth or spiritual growth. Ooh, and we have spiritual growth. Yes, like I said, you are growing. And we have flowers. We have a potential for happiness. You deserve happiness. You deserve support. You deserve love. You deserve financial support even. We have the turkey, somebody behaving stupidly. Yeah. And this may have been, whatever person this is that has made you feel like you weren't good enough. And we have the nest, feeling emotionally secure. It's about taking care of yourself, nurturing yourself, loving yourself, creating that safe space within so that you feel safe in your own home. Feeling at home with who you are. We have the apple. With the apple, I feel like this is the, you know, your harvest that you're meant to receive, the good luck that you're meant to have, the harvest coming in, shedding the skin of the old version of yourself, you know, letting that go. We have archway, a new opportunity, a possibility, and new paths opening up. Nice. We have the staff. You will be taken care of in difficult times. With the staff, I feel like this is more like the Ace of Wands, you know, standing in your power. A new opportunity for you to feel self-empowered. A new creative, there could be a creative idea that's coming in for you as well. Ooh, we have the Tower. Yep. This is the old foundations, especially coming out with the old Hierophant. The way that you saw the world, the way that you saw yourself, you know, this is what needs to crumble. This is what needs to fall away. Because the foundation that you built your life on, it isn't stable. It doesn't support you anymore. It doesn't support who you're becoming, who you are. And that's why your guides have been trying to get a hold of you. They're trying to tell you it's time to face this fear, to acknowledge this pain, to let it go, to allow yourself to grieve, allow yourself to feel whatever emotion you may be holding on to and what needs to be released. Let go of, you know, and letting go means that you release it, that you feel it, you express it in some kind of way. If you need to write it down, if you just need to cry and say, yes, that was so painful and that was so hurtful, and they really broke my heart, and I believed in them, I put my faith and my trust in them, and I allowed them to change the way I saw myself or see the world, you know, or trusting other people, whatever the case may be, you know. It's almost in a sense like, you know, giving our power away to others and allowing them to tell us, you know, who we are or how we need to be, how we should be living, how we should see things, all of that. And it's because we love them and we want their approval, you know, we want to know that they love us too. But here's the thing, you don't have to change anything about yourself. Like, anybody who loves you should appreciate you. We don't always agree with each other's actions, you know, or whatever we choose to do, but it doesn't mean I don't love you. And people should respect your boundaries and they should have more respect for you. If it's something that you want to do in your life, you feel very passionate about it, then they should be supportive. You know, even if they don't agree, they still should support you because it makes you happy. And that's what true love is about, you know, is supporting one another with unconditional love and not having judgments, not having, not hurting one another and making excuses, you know, why it's okay, or telling you should be living like this, you should be doing this in order to receive their love. And that's not fair. And we have tree. Nice. Affairs with your family. Yeah, I feel like very much that is your family, this generational energy. And it is the way that, you know, it's how they were raised, the belief systems that they were taught, the way that the world that they existed in, you know, is not the same world that you're existing in today. And the reason why you've incarnated into this space, into this family, was to bring the change, to show how love looks, or to teach them how to grow, how to change, how to create, and how to listen to their emotions, to not be ruled by the emotions, but not to, you know, live for everyone else's approval. How to love yourself and be your own best friend, and not need outside validation in order for you to have a happy, fulfilling life. You know, that comes from within. Knowing who you are, knowing what you deserve, creating the life that makes you happy, and you deserve that. And you are worthy of that. And the more you tune into your worthiness and how lovable you are and how kind you are and that beautiful heart of yours, the more you're going to be on the receiving end of that same type of energy. Because what you pour into your own cup, pour into yourself, the way that you love yourself, the world will start to reflect that to you. You'll no longer attract people in your world that validate that old version of yourself who was living from, you know, somebody else's belief systems. You will create your own belief systems, and the world will start reflecting that to you, that world, that reality. You will start seeing that shifting. Okay, pile number 1. These were your messages from your spirit guides. Thank you all for joining me in the temple today. Please like and subscribe if this reading resonated with you. Comment below if you feel like sharing your story, or just let me know that this was your reading. I'm sending out so much love. Y'all take care and have a blessed day. Hi, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. So you guys were drawn to the Medallion and the DT Quartz, double terminated, which is pretty interesting because this is a representation of, you know, how energy flows. It comes in one side and goes out the other. So it's almost like giving and receiving in the circuit of that. And with the medallion can be symbolized by something that's being offered to you, something that's been given to you. And I feel like there may be something that you need to release, something you need to let go of. We're going to take a look at the rest of your cards to confirm the energies that are coming through here. Something coming in, but also something going out. So let's go ahead and pull some oracle cards. We're going to get a few tarot as well. Pile number 2. Wow, your guides are coming out really quickly. What have you been trying to tell pile number 2? They're like, yes, we've been trying to get this message out to you guys. Pile number 2. What is their message? What do they need to know? This one. Let's get a few. Actually, let me get one of these first, and then we'll do some tea leaves. Pile number 2. What have you been wanting them to know? What is the message you've been trying to get to them? Thank you. Alright, we're going to split the tea leaf deck in half. Whoa. Oh my goodness. These are just flying out the deck. Pile number 2. Alright, let's do this half. Any more cards? This one here. Okay, now let's see. Let's get a couple tarot cards. Pile number 2. Okay. What does pile number 2 need to know? These 2. Alright, so we'll see what we got. If we need to pull more, we will. Okay, pile number 2. Let's see what your messages are. Let's make sure this is on camera. You have reap what you sow. The energy you put out will return to you. What? Giving and receiving. What did I tell you? The energy comes in and moves out. Choose wisely, as you will reap what you sow. Okay, so this is about being mindful of your energy, your choices, and your actions. Wow. Rebuild rebuild imbalanced relations. If the scales are tipped, it's time to restore balance. Step forward and create harmony in your relationships. All right, I'm going to pause the video because there's some construction going on on the farm, and I want to see just how loud this skill saw is. And if it's too loud, I'll just postpone till they're finished. There's been a lot of interruptions with your reading pile number 2, so I feel like that is also a sign that there is a disruption in your giving and receiving, which is causing it to be imbalanced. It's preventing you from receiving. there's been a lot of interruptions with your reading pile number 2. So I feel like that is also a sign that there is a disruption in your giving and receiving, which is causing it to be imbalanced. It's preventing you from receiving. Okay. Whew. All right, you guys, let's see what we have. We have aquamarine. Seek emotional balance. Let calm waters guide your journey. I love that confirmation about the emotional body here. There's some things you need to release, some things that you need to restore balance to, making sure that you are paying attention to your classes and passing your classes, taking your tests, not anybody else's. Their journey is theirs to learn and to overcome. And it doesn't mean that you just leave them alone in their suffering. But you don't take it on as it's yours, okay? You just lend that supporting, comforting, friend, that shoulder to lean on. But you have to set that boundary where I love you, but this is your path to walk as much as I have my own. And I can give you guidance, I can offer you my love, but this isn't my work to do. This isn't my burden, I love you, care for you, but this is your path, your mission, your lesson to overcome. We have jewel within a teardrop. Appreciation, spiritual and emotional reconnection. Ooh, beautiful. A jewel within a tree drop. Yeah, a teardrop. Tree drop. This is healing, releasing, letting go. Letting go of the pain, letting go of the burden. We also have card number 10. 10s represent the ending as well as a new beginning. The potential to come full circle with something. To begin something new, taking the first step, letting go of an old version of self so that you can become somebody new. And we have this angel, she has wings that are in the background. Become that guide. Think of that. Angels, they're there to support us. They're not allowed to interfere unless we ask them to. But there's only so much that they can do. They can't walk the path for us, and they don't judge us for our choices or our mistakes or anything. They just send love, and they offer support. They offer guidance. They offer that that knowing that everything's going to be okay. That's essentially what you need to do. You need to step into that role, okay? All right, let's see what the tarot says. Oh my goodness, look at that. You have the 7 of Pentacles, and this is about giving and receiving in balance, offering your love and your support, but in balance, not taking on more than you should. Not deciding like, oh, here, let me do this for you. That's not your job. That's not your role. And you have the 8 of Swords. Yeah, this is something that you can't see. Something that's holding you back from receiving, holding you back from being in balance. There is a way forward. You just don't see it. And I feel like you will, though. This is what's being revealed. This is what your guides have been trying to show you. We have the Death card, yes. The ending. And we have the 5, the end of struggle. Look at this. This is like 5 of Wands can be like a competitive energy. But it can also be very chaotic, very stressful. It can also represent, a group of people trying to come together to build something. We have the Star. Nice. And then we have, look at that, the 2 of Cups. The balance being restored in the relationship. You're identifying your truth, your purpose. And so we have this individual. See, this is the healing the balance, bringing that balance and restoring your light. That healing, soothing energy. Yes, this is what needs healing. You need to release, you need to let go of the things that's not yours. You know, the work that isn't yours. This is their work to achieve this lifetime. And your burden to release because it isn't yours. Alright, let's take a look at your tea leaves. We have broken wishbone, wish not being granted. Yeah, see, I feel like there's something that's not complete. We have the hill, which represents, you know, the obstacles, the lessons. We have a dog, close up, pleasure with a close friend. See, and I feel like you're very loyal, which is amazing to have that in a relationship, but I feel like you're loyal to a fault, you know. This isn't your job to do that work for them. We have the bell announcement. Okay, that is listening, tuning into your intuition as it's guiding you. Ask your guides, communicate with your guides. Like I was saying, communicate with its individual. We have the whale. This is deep wisdom here with the whale. Singing your own song. And then we have, ooh, June. I wonder what this card represents. June. And it appears to be an angel. So perhaps something's going to take place in June. Maybe this is when this imbalance began. Maybe you've been doing this extra work or starting to feel the pressure. Perhaps your guides have been trying to communicate this to you from since June. Maybe some of you have a birthday in June. Or perhaps you can see the results of your work by June of next year, of this year, whatever time you're tuning into this reading. The whale, they also are, you know, they're deep divers, and you can also work with the whale spirit to help you cleanse and release any deep-seated emotions that you may be feeling that may come to the surface. Or there's some emotions that you need to communicate with to this person, this relationship, because the Two of Cups is, it represents relationships, marriage, you know, a partnership, and one that's in balance, you know, contracts, vows that we make to one another, and even to ourselves. Okay, you guys, so this is what I'm getting for you all. Your guides are wanting you to release those burdens, rebalance your energies out so that you are giving and receiving in balance, and not doing other people's, you know, taking the classes for others. You are to remain focused on what your guides are asking you to do, and right now it is to release, let go of what isn't yours. And if that's crying, if that's having a conversation, listen to your heart, listen to your intuition, balance out that emotional body, pile number 2. Alright, this was your reading. So sorry for all the disruptions and the loud skill saw sounds in the background. I apologize, you guys. Thank you for holding, you know, holding space for me to get through this reading for you guys. And thank you all so much for being here in the temple with me today. I'm sending you all so much love. Please like and subscribe if this reading resonated with you. Comment below if you feel like sharing your story, or just let me know that this reading was meant for you. I'm sending you all lots of love. Take care and have a blessed day. Welcome to your reading, pile number 3. So you guys were drawn to the Orphan card and the Danburite crystal. Alright, we're going to get some oracle cards and a few tarot cards before we begin. So these are the messages that your guides have been trying to send you. Pile number 3, what messages do you want? Do you need pile number 3 to hear? No? The bottom of the deck, okay? And this one. Pile number 3. What are their messages? And I want that one from the top. Let's get you one of these. We'll do a few tea leaves and then we'll get you tarot. Pile number 3. Those are your oracle cards. Now let's get your tarot. Pile number 3. Here, guys, what do you want pile number 3 to know? Ooh, that one's flying in the air. Alright, let's see. If we need more cards, we will get them. Okay, so pile number 3, you had them. You had several of these come out. You actually had 3. So we have the Orphan, we have the Tear, and then we have the Forest. Okay. So what I feel like and you have the Danburite crystal. This is a crystal that helps reduce stress. It helps promote spiritual growth. It brings higher awareness and consciousness to the heart and the crown chakra. So your divinity, your spiritual self, as well as your heart. You know, your and being able to see things with clarity. This is such a beautiful crystal. It is very hard. I want to say that I believe they say that this crystal is very close to a diamond as far as the hardness. It's the only one that's up there in the diamond scale. So I feel like, you know, with the Orphan represents, you know, an abandonment wound, and then we have the Tear, the healing, the releasing of a wound, of a pattern. And with the Forest is like, it can be very scary, very dark, you know, very overwhelming. Some people can get lost in the forest, but it's also a place of retreat, you know, quietness, going within, into your sacred space, you know, clearing the mind. So there's some, I feel like there's a wound, some healing that your guides want you to partake in. Let's put this here so y'all can see it on the camera. So something that you might not be seeing clearly, and we have this other eye here. Your vision's been clouded by this old wound here, you know, the wound of feel. And we have the snake, you know, this is an old pattern, old belief system, the way you see yourself. Maybe you didn't feel nurtured or supported in a time of need. And that is what your guides are wanting you to release, to let go of, to heal, maybe to see things from a different perspective. All right, let's see what your cards say. We have unblock the flow. When your energy is stuck, nothing moves. Start small, clean a space, cry it out, speak a truth. Movement is medicine. Ooh, beautiful. Okay, so This is where you're stuck. This is the pattern that needs to be released. This is the wound that needs to be healed, because it's preventing you from moving forward. It's preventing you to see the truth, you know. You know, you can't see the forest through the trees. Is that the saying, you know? Overwhelming. And that's what, yeah. You know how when you experience things that are very painful, it can be very overwhelming, and it can be too much, you know, especially at the moment that you're experiencing it. But then you may find that later on, when you're at home or when you feel safe, that the tears just flow, you know, they just come out, so that you can grieve through this process, you know, so that you can release the pressure that has been built up in your heart, you know. You can feel it in your chest when you want to cry, you know, it just starts welling up, you know. That's the healing elixir. Crying doesn't make us weak. It's actually a healing salve. And it releases energies. It releases pain when we allow ourselves to flow, when we allow the tears to flow, we allow the emotions to flow. The emotion is represented, you know, by water. And water is meant to flow. If water doesn't move, it becomes stagnant, and then it can become stale and murky and dirty and not very healthy, right? And sometimes our emotions, if they're not allowed to flow and they get repressed and, you know, squashed, stuffed in, ignored, it can become very unhealthy for us. Sometimes we can experience physical ailments because we're not allowing the energy to move. And energy, emotions are emotions like in movement, you know, it has to be moving in order for us to stay healthy. And so there's something about releasing and unblocking the flow of the emotions, allowing yourself to cry and to grieve over whatever this memory is that you have, you know, because it is valid. You have every right to feel the way that you feel. Anybody who's experienced something like that would be upset, would be hurt, you know, and that version of you is feeling like it can't feel the way that it feels, you know, and you are stopping yourself and telling yourself, no, you can't. You're not allowed to feel this way about that experience. You know, you are preventing yourself from moving on and moving forward by suppressing it. So your guides want you to allow yourself to cry, to grieve, to release, to let go of whatever it is that you're holding on to. And letting go isn't in the sense like, you know, yeah, I let it go, forget about it. It's letting go of the emotion that you're holding on to. So if it's anger, if it's rage, if it's sadness, release it. Allow yourself to feel it. And whatever the emotion is, express the emotion. That's how you let it go, is by expressing it. And you will feel the tension in your body just relax. You know, you will feel so much better when you have just a good cry, you know. And you can even write it down. You can communicate it to somebody who feels safe, you know, who you feel safe around, who you know isn't going to judge you. They're going to hold that safe space for you and allow you to just be who you are, and to feel safe, and then to remind you that you are here in this moment and that you are okay, you know. Movement is medicine. Allow it to flow. And we also have, you know, clean a space. Some of you may need to purge, you know, to let go of things that you're holding on to, you know, and this can be objects, and can be all metaphorical, you know. Sometimes when you're cleaning your house, especially during like springtime or in the winter, you know, how you're preparing your space, it's all very symbolic of that. I'm going to release what I no longer need. Have I learned from this experience? What have I learned from this experience? What has it taught me? And then once you have that elixir, then you can release it and let it go. Be like, thank you, I've learned everything I can from this experience. It has taught me, you know, X, Y, and Z about myself and about other people, and how to set healthy boundaries for myself, or how to love myself, and or what love looks like even, you know. It's different for all of you. Take what resonates. But this is what your guides are saying. So we have shape your future. You are the creator of your future. Make choices that reflect your highest self. Beautiful. Look at this path. You're creating a path forward. Your guides want you to start creating a path to move forward where the light shines, where this new beginning can come in for you. And it will, the more that you make space for yourself, you make time for yourself to create the future that you want. But you must go in and release what's holding you back. We have learned from pain. Pain is a catalyst for change. Allow it to lead you to a deeper wisdom and growth. Yeah, this is, I feel like that's it. This is, you know, we hold on to our pain until we're finally ready to release it and let it go. Until we finally learned everything that we can possibly learn from the experience, you know. And I feel like your guides are telling you there's nothing else there for you anymore. And it's time to, you know, not only forgive others, but to forgive yourself, you know, because we choose to go through these experiences for us to learn from them, to teach us more about ourselves and about who we are. And sometimes we need that contrast. We need to know, you know, what we don't want, what we don't like, what love looks like, what love doesn't look like, how it should feel, all of those kinds of things. How to love ourselves by being treated by people who don't give us the type of love we're looking for. You know, we're always learning through every experience, through each relationship. We're learning more about who we are and what our needs are and how to create the life that we're wanting for ourselves. And learning not to depend on other people. That is something that we create for ourselves. But it's something that we create from within. We grow from within by going within and getting in touch with our true selves, our true desires, our, you know, our own belief systems, what we believe about ourselves, what we believe about the world, what we believe we're worthy and deserving of. We have Peridot. Invite positivity and joy. Let your spirit shine with light. Oh, I love that. And this is green. This is for the heart chakra here. Yes. Seeing things from like the brighter side, you know, and not seeing things from the negative, you know, pessimistic or victim mentality. And sometimes we can have that. And I'm not saying that you're not a victim, because we have all experienced that to some degree, and what that teaches us, it teaches us how to empower ourselves by feeling powerless. We learn how to feel empowered. What does it feel like? Because I've experienced this, now I know what that is, and so now I need to empower myself. And we work with those contrasts of energies. So where I felt like I was a victim, now I'm going to become the victor. And I'm going to rise up from those ashes, and I'm going to transform that energy, and I'm going to empower myself, right? And so we move out of a place of darkness and feeling powerless into a place of empowerment and light and love and joy. And we have yin yang, creating harmony through balance. Beautiful. And that's just confirmation of what I was saying about working with the energies. Utilizing, you know, the light and the dark. I've experienced the dark, and in that darkness, this is the light that I can shine on this perspective. You know, I can learn from this. And then we incorporate that light, and we fill ourselves with so much light that that darkness is just part of the experience. It is what has brought you to this place of being in the light. That is where your wisdom comes from. And we have the Page of Pentacles. Okay, this is the new seed here. The seed of growth, this potential for new beginnings. See, and this is, okay, this is the seed that was planted long ago. This feeling of unworthiness, unloved, feeling abandoned, left alone, not worthy, all of those energies. And that's what needs the transforming. And this new seed that you're meant to nurture with your heart, with your love, is your worth and your value, and that you are lovable, that you are deserving, and that you have this beautiful heart, and the type of future that you want to be living in, the type of love that you deserve, all those experiences that you felt like you were lacking. This is what you want to create for yourself. This is that potential, that seed of potential. We have the Wheel of Fortune, all right. Things will start to move in your favor. Things will start to shift. We have the Devil. Yeah, these are the burdens. These are the patterns. This is the programming, the fears. We want to shift those fears. Fears of lack to I have and I am. And then we have the Lovers coming through. Yeah, that balance of heart and mind. That's the other thing. Our mind is where our seed thoughts are grown in our mind, because it's what we believe, what we think, and we nurture them through our emotions of how we feel about those thoughts, how we feel about our belief systems. And the more we feed them, the bigger they get, the bigger they grow, the more we see them taking place in the world around us, the way people treat us, the way we feel in general about our relationships. And when you heal this child wound, when you heal the inner child by acknowledging that you do have and that you are loved, and giving those words and those kind affirmations to yourself, and you can't just say them, you have to believe them. And the mind will look for evidence of it so that it can feed that belief system. So if you're looking for the darkness, you're looking for, something to feed this belief system that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, you will find it. But when you shift your perspective and you start looking for all the ways that you are loved, that you are supported, and the people that are in your life, and finding those moments where you are loved, where you are seen, where you are accepted, and showing that to your mind and healing the inner child wound, your world will start to shift. You will start to create that reality for yourself. You will start to shape a future where you feel loved, where you feel supported, where you feel acknowledged, because you know you are. You know in your heart that you're good enough. You know that you are worthy. You know that you are lovable. But if you don't believe it, you will never see it. You have to believe this in your heart. And that's what you have to nurture so that it can grow, so that you can shift out of this old programming and start a new beginning for yourself. Oh, you have the Chariot. More balance coming through, the yin yang. Yeah, you're in control. And that's the thing. You need to control your thoughts. You need to control your perspective, control your belief systems. You can choose to see the world through whatever lens that you want to see it through, and you can see it that way. You can see a life through, gray or darkness and, sadness, or you can choose to see the light. You can see it, it's very colorful. There's all different kinds of shades. There's all different kinds of experiences, that you're not meant to just live a life of sadness or feeling unloved and ignored. You're meant to live a life of joy and positivity and happiness, and love. You have the Hierophant. Yeah, the Hierophant can be a couple things, and I feel like this is the pattern, this is the programming. This could be something that's generational, even something that you may have gotten from your parents, something that you were taught, a belief system that you have, like I was saying, an old pattern, something that has come from childhood, the childhood wound here. And the thing is, it's like you don't necessarily need to be like physically like abandoned, whereas you had no parents or anything like that. It can be a situation that you felt, you know, as a child, where at that moment you were unprotected. You know, there was nobody there to help you, to save you, to support you, to give you love or comfort or anything like that. And you just experience a type of trauma. And as a child, we don't have emotional tools and understanding and awareness of how to process the experience, you know, from an adult perspective. But the version of you now, the adult you, can go back to that perspective that the child has, and you can bring that adult perspective in and give guidance to that version of yourself that feels alone, that feels abandoned in their emotions and not knowing how to handle the situation. You can give your inner child that love. You can teach them how to navigate that situation by you being that supportive, comforting, you know, guide to them. Be your own higher self, you know, and let yourself know, okay, this is what was happening at that time, and it's okay for you to feel this way, and acknowledge that it's okay for you to feel alone or lost or unloved in this situation. And I completely, you know, understand, and you have every right to feel that way, but I love you. That's never going to happen to us again. I'm setting healthy boundaries, or that experience was, you know, very limited. I'm never going to allow anybody to hurt us. Whatever you need to say to comfort yourself, whatever you needed to hear in that moment, you need to say that to yourself and be there for that version of yourself that needed somebody to comfort them. You have to do that for yourself so that you can heal and move forward. All right, let's look at your tea leaves. We have fire. Nice. Yeah, this is the transformative fires. Letting go of the past and moving on, you know, and working with the violet flame. If you don't know what that is, there's a lot of information on the internet about it. You can ask Archangel Zedekiel or Saint Germain. They are both incarnations of the same person energy, and ask them to help you cleanse and purify the old energies of the past so that you can move forward. This is giving Phoenix energy here, rising up from the ashes. We have the archway. New opportunities and possibilities and paths will begin opening up for you, pile number 3. Don't be afraid to go on this journey. We have the goldfish with increase in material wealth and spiritual growth. Nice. We have the needle and thread. A sincere wish will be granted. Ooh, some of you are going to be getting a wish coming true. We have new growth, spiritual opportunities to come in for you as well. Lots of possibilities. Oh, you have the dolphin. And this always, to me, connects to the inner child. Having more fun in your life, having more joy, having more playful times where you can just enjoy life more, where you feel safe to shine your light and to be who you truly are. And you got the sun, happiness and well-being. This is also the inner child, allowing your light to shine, allowing you to express yourself, to find enjoyment in life again, healing the inner child. And we have the pig. The pig. This is beware of greed. I'm not sure what the pig represents. Greed. Maybe this was somebody, yeah, somebody in the past who was very greedy. Maybe they weren't very giving, very loving. Maybe they were a little selfish, you know what I mean? Or this could be telling you that you need to take more time to, you know, to be selfish. You know, maybe you're a selfless person. You're always very giving unto others, and you just don't know how to receive yet. Maybe yeah, that's maybe what you haven't learned how to do, is to receive love, to open your heart to be on the receiving end of blessings, of joy and happiness and fun. And that's what the lesson that you need to learn. That's the spiritual journey you need to go on, is learning to pour into your own cup, to fill your own heart with your love, with your kindness, with your acceptance, with validation of how you feel, acknowledging that inner child's needs, you know, and their emotions and what they've gone through, and they just need somebody to hear them out. They need somebody to let them feel safe, and that person is you. And selfish doesn't mean that you're a greedy person, right? There are selfish people out there, but sometimes we need to be selfish when we don't know how to receive. We need to learn how to give to ourselves and be comfortable and confident giving to ourselves. And when our cup is overflowing, then we have enough to give to others. Then that balance is created, because the more you have to give, but you can't give from an empty cup, you understand? So you have to have that full cup where you feel fully in love with yourself and you champion for yourself, you're confident, you cheerlead yourself, you know, you're your biggest support within, and you have this healthy balance between your heart and your mind, and your inner child feels so loved and so acknowledged, where you act out on your passions, you take some time to just, you know, have fun and be yourself, and you don't need anybody's approval. Everything you get is something that comes from within, and then your world will start to shape around those energies of love that you give to yourself. Pile number 3. Okay, pile number 3, that was your reading. These are your messages from your spirit guides, what they've been trying to communicate to you through your signs and symbols. I am sending y'all so much love. Thank you for joining me in the temple today. Please like and subscribe, comment below if you feel like sharing your story, or just let me know that pile number 3 resonated with you. Sending y'all lots of love. Take care and have a blessed day.